Hello, everyone. We meet again. I am Lim Lai Po, your moderator for today's webinar. Before we start, allow me to introduce ourselves. Who are we? We are actually a very small team of English language educators who have taken online courses known as Online Professional English Network, OPEN. It was also once known as the e-teacher, funded by the US Department of State via the US Embassy, Kuala Lumpur. We now get to call ourselves as the e-teacher alumni of this program. And if any of you are alumni of this program, you may join us in the future. This webinar is sponsored fully by the US Embassy, Kuala Lumpur. Our speaker for today's webinar is my good friend and colleague, Madam Josephine Lai, and her title for this session is Media in the 21st Century Learning, Fusion Between Traditional and Modern. Now let me read to you the bio of our speaker today. Madam Josephine Lai was the recipient of the Charismatic Teacher Award from the Kota Kinabalu District Education Department in 2018. This award was to acknowledge her commitment in spearheading educational programs that greatly enhance parental and community involvement. In 2013, she received a grant to train parents on how to familiarize the children with English language at homes. She also a member of a task force that developed practical teaching ideas through Put the Spark Back into the Classroom training project since 2018. She has presented in many conferences. She also received an exclusive invitation to present at the prestigious state-level conference, Technopan, in 2017. Her mission is to revive pupils' interest in reading via media and folklore. Now, before we proceed, I would like to read to you some ground rules. Number one, make sure you key in your details in the survey form later correctly, especially your emails. In the past, many participants did not get their certificates due to incorrect emails. Number two, you will get your e-certificates within a week after the webinar is over. We will do our best to deliver it to you through your emails. And lastly, the link to the survey and e-certificate will only be accessible for a very short amount of time before it is deactivated. So if you are watching this, make sure you fill in the form immediately after the webinar. And without much further ado, Madam Josephine, it's over to you.
Thank you, Lim, Madam Lim. Thank you for the introduction. And I would like to take this opportunity, first and foremost, to thank Malaysian Open alumni for making this online webinar possible and for allowing me to share how media can be integrated in classroom. This is a chance in a lifetime to present in a different audience. I'm really excited. I'm actually very excited now. Okay, let me begin. So my topic is about media in the 21st century, a fusion between traditional and modern. Okay. All right, so these are my objectives. First is to introduce media as a tool to enriching classroom learning experience. And secondly, to show how authentic learning can be attained using real world media. And thirdly, to practice critical thinking skills in the activities using media. All right. Before I proceed, what do you know about media? I would like, if you can, to type in the chat box what you think media is, what media is to you. Can you type in the chat box? So, Madam Lim, can you tell, because I can't see the chat here? Can you tell a little bit about what our participants are typing?
Most of them are saying our participants are from the Philippines. Most of them are from the Philippines, from Kuching, Sarawak. Okay, here from Christina Mohan, she said that media is a form of communication.
Yes, that's right. It's a form of communication. Anything else?
From Chandra Mohan, Richard, he said that media is a platform to convey information digitally.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, okay, I think I'll move on. All right. So, basically, we all know what media is, and if we are all aware that media is everywhere. So, let me express to you what I find from the internet, what media is in the 21st century. First, I know that media is the plural form for medium. So even though it's a plural form, grammatically, we still use it as a singular noun, like information. And secondly, is a channel of communication, and therefore it applies to all kind of gadgets, devices, things around us that channel information and to communicate to the public. Thirdly, it's either in printed form or in digital form. And for my classroom, I've used these two types of media. One is the print media, which I'm going to show you. Okay, so these are some of the media that I use in my class. Brochure, billboards. We don't have billboards in my school, but the closest thing to billboard would be the notice boards, the magazines, pamphlets, books, and newspapers. Okay, so form of media, electronic media that I use for my classroom are like television, smartphones, computers, cameras, and things like that. Okay, so what do you use? What kind of media do you use in your classroom? So I'd like you to click on the link that is shown in the chat box to type your answer. And okay, we'll see from here how you respond. So I think I'll give you a minute or two. So I look forward to see what your responses would be like from this word cloud. So right now we have WhatsApp, Instagram, newspaper, magazine, and probably other print materials. Okay, we see some answers coming in. So we can see newspapers. All right, we see some more coming in. I see Schoology. Diagrams, yes. Pictures, photos. And they are actually great media. Okay, internet, yes. I suppose that's applied to social media. So any answers from the chat box, Madam Lim?
Google Classroom.
Oh, okay, Google Classroom, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I see that newspapers, television, and Instagram, the top 3 media. All right, now we have WhatsApp, FB, all right. Okay, so I'll give another like 20 seconds before I move on. Electronic books, yes. Okay, so it seems we have a few here. The popular media like Instagram, TikTok. Wow, okay, TikTok, and newspapers. Okay, thanks for your responses. So we move on. All right. Okay, so now we're back to my topic, the traditional media or the modern media. So basically, I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I've used in my class. So I have all these pictures shown to my students and ask them what do they recognize these pictures or not. So okay, one of my students, the closest to the actual answer to this picture was a keyboard. So I found out that most of my students, they don't know what this is. This is actually during my college years. This was a must-have device. We used to use we use it to type letters, messages, forms, assignments, and so on. I'm sure teachers around our age would recognize this. All right. So, and also this one, most of them couldn't recognize what this is. So the closest to the answer was a speaker. So they thought this was a speaker, and they were surprised it was a radio. And most of them recognized this, but the thing is that the one question popped up from them: how do we make a telephone call from here? So so these are some of the media that we use back in our younger years. So it seems that all these what we call traditional media, and somehow they evolve. They're not getting less popular. They evolve, and they have been improvised to suit the generation nowadays. So despite that it has evolved, some of the media in the classroom I still prefer to use. All right, so I'll move on. Okay, so these are the some of the description, the comparison between traditional media and modern media. So we have the traditional media. Why we use traditional media? The first one is to bring outside world into our homes. That was then. And then another advantage of traditional media then it has broadcast time, which is set. So life was a bit in a routine during then. So in modern media era, we have all these gadgets, and somehow this traditional media has evolved into and changed into in the form of more fast-paced, attainable media and information. So here I put down easy means of getting information anywhere and anytime. So compared to traditional media, where we have the time set and we only need to attend according to the broadcast time. Okay, so that's the traditional media and the modern media. All right, so we move on to this poll. Coming back to here, I would like you to click to the link provided in the chat box, so that you can vote. Which type of media would you prefer to use in your classroom? So you have a choice. It's either traditional media, modern media, or both. So I would like to hear from you. If you can, click to the link and select A, B, or C. Okay, so we'll wait for the participants to respond. Okay, so it's a 50-50, modern media or both. So 60% voted both as of now. Okay, modern media is a competition between modern media or both. All right. Okay. Let me explain. Some traditional media that I know of are like newspapers, TV, and radio. So I do see a lot of teachers using some traditional media in the classroom. Okay, so it's 70% for both. All right, so that's interesting. So I give another 20 seconds for more responses. Okay. All right, so I'll get it. So over 70% of our participants today have probably used both media and or preferred both media. Okay, allow me to move on. All right. Thank you for your responses. All right, so we come back to media. So these are, I'm going to show you how I use media in my classroom. All right, so these are 7 of the activities that I've used, and I'm going to show you to some of my students' work. All right, so we have altogether 7 of them here. So first is ask a question. Second, what are they saying? Third, you know what? Fourth, where in the world? Fifth, who are they? Sixth, to know them. 7, eat right. So before I move on to the activities, Madam Lim, any question from the participants? So please feel free to ask questions during the presentation. All right. Okay, so I guess there's no question. There are no questions yet. All right, so we move on to the first media that I've used, the comic strips, which I obtained from newspapers or comic books, sometimes from the internet. So let me explain a little bit about my classroom. Most of my students are not that privileged to have all these special devices which they can obtain information from the internet. So I would go to the library and look around to see what media I can use for my class. So this is actually one of my favorite, using comic strips, because children love comics. All right, so in this activity, I would have them find a comic strip from anywhere, in this case from a newspaper, and cut them, paste them on an A4 paper or card. Of course, you have to read and understand the comic strip. And finally, to think of a question that you can form out of it. So this, I'm going to show you some of my students' best effort in this activity. All right, they are not perfect, but they somehow are some that impressed me. Okay, so this is one of the activity that they did. And this is my students' work, No Carissa. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a little bit. Okay, sorry. Okay, so if you can see here, this is a comic strip that my student cut from a newspaper. And instead of telling the story, I have them asking a question. So the question here, I hope you can see. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I can't enlarge this. So all right, from the story, from the comic strip, they she came up with a question, and she asked, why are they upset? So if you see from this comic, they are penguins. And could you see this clearly in the presentation? Let me see. Yeah, so if you can see this, okay, sorry. Okay, this is the question. This is the question that she posed here. Why are they upset? So it seems one of the penguin is upset here. So she is asking, why are they upset? So what I would normally do after they have all these comic ready, I have them exchange with friends, and what they would do next is that they would answer that question and sign, so that the owner of this comic strip, the owner of this work, would know who answered her question. So let's move on. Okay. All right, activity, ask a question. So I'd like you to to read this comic and try to think of a question. You can either write the question in the chat box, or you can go to this Padlet here. All right, though is in. Just click to the link provided in the chat box, and it will lead you to a Padlet. All right, so I'm going to show you the Padlet. Okay, so this is the Padlet with the comic strip there. So I have if you know your way around Padlet, so feel free to post a question here. So if you can't open the Padlet, you can post your question in the chat box. And I hope Madam Lim can read out the question.
Yes, they can post, but we have to wait for a few more minutes for them to paste the questions.
Yes, of course. Just in case if they post in the chat box, because I can't see the chat box.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so just help me read out the question if they have any there.
Okay.
It would be interesting to know what kind of question that they can come up with. All right. So yeah, there's a question now. What are the boring parts in your life? All right, great question. All right. Any more questions? All right. Oh, okay. So why is life tough? Another great question here. That's very interesting question. Is something like open end question. So you can give any answers that you want. Okay. All right. Another one more great question here. How do you classify a part of life in categories? Wow, that's a very interesting question. Okay, so at least I have 3 questions here. So what I would like you to do, what I would normally do after this, is to get peers. You know, you exchange questions, the comic strip with other friends. So those who got this question, they would have to put down their thoughts or answers anywhere. So based on so I'm going to shift the questions around, so you can actually move the text box around here. So there are 3 questions posed here. So why don't you answer their questions? So what would your answer be? Say like the first question, what are the boring parts in your life? So if you can't answer in the chat, in the Padlet, you can answer in the chat box. Right, so maybe you can give answers to these questions. Okay, the boring part of life is those part that you did not enjoy. Can you try to move that your answer next to the question? Yeah, you can just move the text around. Okay, so some people here, all right, I find this answer is really okay, so you can actually like move them around. Oh, okay, so I guess you get the point here. So what we are trying to teach here is the writing skills and the comprehensive skills, critical thinking, because you are not just asking question based on the comics, but somehow related to the content of the comic, and your answers are there's no right and wrong answer here. All right, so thank you. I'd like to know what you think of this activity. Maybe you can put it in the chat box. What do you think about this activity? You know, the integration of the media. What I'm trying to show you here is the integration of different media. You combine them and make it work. If you don't have Padlet in the classroom, you can just do it manually, like what my student did just now. Okay, so it's a yeah. Okay, so I would like to move on because we have a few more activities to show. All right, so that's Padlet. So we are actually encouraging our students to think and to write their thoughts. Okay, so our next media to use here are photos or images, which is obtainable from all any magazines, any newspapers, any media. So the activity here is what are they saying? First of all, you get a picture from a newspaper or a magazine, study the people's gesture, and write down what you think they would be saying. So I'll be showing you my students' work. This is one of my students' work. So they just cut the pictures and paste it on an A4 paper. And I have them to figure out what they think the character in the picture is trying to say or express. So we have she has we have this one lady here as expressing herself. We have a problem now, so we need to work together. So I think it's a good expression. So I'm going to show you another one. Okay, so we have children looking at the artifacts in a glass box. So in a very authentic way, children they don't tend to think wider scope. They will be connecting to the real life experience that they would have. So in this kind of situation, they'll be thinking what they would say to another person. So in this case, this girl, she's asking her brother what this is, and the brother is answering her, this is a vase made of clay. All right, so okay, I find this really funny, but I'm going to use this and try to get feedbacks from you. What do you think is going on here? Can you tell a little bit about the story here? Maybe in just one sentence. Yes, you can type in the chat box. So any response from the participants?
Okay.
Okay. So in actual article, it might not be as this. They are expressing themselves, right? They are expressing themselves through these.
One of the response, Madam Jo, the family was surprised to see a famous celebrity in their village.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I suppose
It's a very interesting answer. Yeah, from
it's
Mr.
actually
V.
supposed to
Pan.
be, yes, it's supposed to be, fun.
Another answer, the family saw something interesting in front of them.
Yeah, so yes, like the previous comment answer, a famous figure, right? Yeah. Okay, so you can get a lot from your students. You'll be surprised at how at their responses to this kind of activity. All right, so I'm going to move on. All right. Okay, so the next media would be articles, news from newspapers. Okay, now we have the e-news, so we can just like download from the internet. But if like my students, they don't have internet access, we use a lot of newspapers. Okay, and in this activity, what are they saying? So you have like picking up newspaper articles, a newspaper article, and derive information from this question. So all these WH question here. So I have a worksheet for them. So in a table form, so they have to like analyze the article and try to break the information apart. So under who, all right, so who, okay, like in this case, Zhang Zhongyi What? The young doctor. Why? Because without the help of young doctor, Africa villagers couldn't afford. Where? In Beijing. When? From May 22nd to 23rd. So obviously, this student has read two articles because there are two different stories here, two different articles. The next one is the Bang 10 Boys. I suppose the BTS, is it? No, Bang 10 Boys. First K-pop group. Why? BTS is the first K-pop. Where? In Seoul. When? From 2017 Billboard. So they are almost there with the but at least they were able to break down the information according to this WH question here. So I changed a little bit. This was the latest one. So I add a little bit. I add title to this table and a review. So what I did, I had them write down the headline. So I'm introducing headline in newspaper and answer the who question, Bahubali. So I don't know who that is. What these boys still write Bahubali. Where in China? When? On 2nd September 2000. So I had them went up to the next level, that is to write a sentence. So combining all this information here, they were able to write a complete sentence here. Bahubali is in China on 2nd of September 2000. So yeah. Okay, so I'll move on. So this is the WH question, this one. All right, so what are they saying? All right, it's about the news. Okay, I'm going to move on. Okay, so this is for you participants. If we have the time, what time is it now? All right, okay, so we do have the time. Using the WH questions below, try write something interesting about this preview of a magazine. All right, so you can choose any from here and just type your answer in the chat box.
Okay, one of the question, when are the robots going to control us?
Okay, all right, so that's a question. How about the sentence? Yeah, but yeah, it's true. You can encourage the students to ask question. Yeah. All right. So it's like either you make the question, or you can just write a statement or a review. All right, using the WH questions.
Okay, you have in the review, AI and robots will be in our daily lives soon.
Okay, so if we break this sentence into the data that we need, okay, like who, that would be AI and robots, right? And what's the what?
Okay, next one from Chandran Mohan Richard. Nivets will be the latest action game introduced in Malaysia in year 2021.
Great. You add some more information to it. Okay, that's great. I'm okay with adding some information. Yeah, if you don't find it there. All right. Okay, so I'll give another minute for some more responses.
Okay, we have from Pena Wong, Yong Pena. Who is stronger, human being or robots?
Wow, okay. That is another level. Thank you.
Interesting question.
Yes, it doesn't have to be in such a way. I'm preparing this activity for a like 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. So at the higher level, you can always like change the instructions that suit the level of your students. But nevertheless, we are still using media. Okay, any more?
Yes, next one from from Ayman. What people can now buy robots to assist them at home?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So these are all ideas, you know. All right. Thank you.
Christina Mohan says robots have emerged as the new mobile computers.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess we better move on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope the participants get the idea. All right. So we'll move on to the next activity, and this is also one of my favorite, and it's about stories. All right, from around the world. So it can be either in storybooks or books that you find in the library, or it can be ebooks. Now, the interesting thing about ebooks, there's one that I'm going to share with you after this. So the first activity here, no, this is actually the following activity. Where in the world? So in this activity, you get to choose a story, any story from around the world. The task here is to identify the place of origin of the story. So where is this story from? What? Okay, and the next thing would be to find the place on a map. So I'm going to show you before that. Okay, so I have my student. I post a map in my class social media. I'm using WhatsApp here. So I have this world map here, and of course I show them how to get about with this activity, and with the story that they pick, they have to find where that country is. So these are some of my students respond. So one of them found Malaysia. Another one found Russia because Hafiz read a story from Russia. So this is also one of the great activity. So I can't show you here. There's a place where you can get free ebooks. Free ebooks in the sense that you can download stories with no copyright issues, meaning you can download any book, any stories that without thinking about copyright. So it's called Project Gutenberg. So if you have ever heard of that, I can't show you here. Okay, hold on. Right. Okay, I would love to show you this page because it's actually, you have over 60,000 free ebooks. Okay, so I am having problem with this VBA thing. All right, so I would love to show you this. All right, so this is Project Gutenberg. It's a virtual library with over 60,000 free ebooks. So when you download stories from this website, it's free. It's copyright free. So I chose folklores. So stories from around the world. So I download in my and share it in my class social media, the WhatsApp group, and they get to pick the stories that they want. Okay, so if you are interested, all right, so you just search for this Project Gutenberg. Okay, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so this is the map. All right. Okay, this is my students respond. All right, so okay, we narrow it down to one culture. I don't know whether you recognize this culture or not. So this is a photo of that show the ladies, the Bajau ladies. Is one of the ethnic in Sabah. So I have this table ready here. So with some space to fill in. So you need to get information about this culture. So the students who studied the culture of the country where they picked the stories from has to do some research. All right. So from there, we have this peer coming with this empty, this blank table to get information about the culture of the place where the student did the research on. So in this case, it's about Bajau. So let's play an activity. I would like to have Lim asking me question, and she can type in the answers in the box here.
Okay.
So Lim,
all right.
Let's do some.
Yeah, we can start now. Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, can you tell me the place where they are from?
Okay, they are from Kota Belud, Sabah. So you might have to type the answer here.
Okay, next. What language do they speak?
Oh, they speak Bajau language.
Yeah, one of the ethnic language. Okay, what is the traditional food?
It's licking. Do you know what licking is?
I do not know. Can you explain it to me?
It's a kind of dry fish.
Oh,
Dry fish. Yeah, something
okay.
like that.
Like ikan
Okay.
kering. Okay,
Yeah, I
next.
think so.
Uh, yeah. How do they call their father and mother? Do they use a different word?
Yes, they do. For father, dad, they call mak, and for mother, they call yang.
Oh, that's
Okay, so
interesting.
it's mak and
Yeah.
yang.
Young, yeah. From father and mother. Young for mother.
Yes,
Okay.
they call their father mak and their mother yang.
Okay. That is
Right?
interesting. Now, next one. How do they say hello?
They say yen abanu. All right, so when they meet each other, they greet yen abanu.
Yan
Yen
abadu.
abanu.
That's
Yen abanu.
interesting. And
Yes.
that's Bajau for you.
So yes, it is really interesting. When you study the culture of other people from other places, you find it really fascinating to to study their roots, study the culture, the tradition. It's all like so diverse, but so interesting, so united. Okay, so from the information that so after this activity, so I had my students move on to the next one. So it's knowing them. So they'll be introducing the country and the culture of the people there. So this is one of the activity here is to make a poster. So if you see here, this one they originally they read a story from Japan. So from Japan, they studied the culture and they got information about some information about Japan, and then they created a poster here. Okay, so and from here they move on to public speaking, a little public speaking. So they have a little audience here who are so they enjoyed listening to all these older students telling them about the countries, telling them something of what they have found. Okay, so it's a little like a group presentation here, a little bit of public speaking to a real audience. Okay, moving on. So immediately after the public speaking, the presentation, their presentation, it would be a waste to just give back the posters to them. So what we did, we converted we cut off all the information from the posters and stick them on a box like this. So the good thing, the great thing about this is that you can just flip the boxes over and read all the information that is posted around. So you can just flip around, and the students had all these boxes put outside of the classroom. So we have students walking past through, and they can just like pick up one of the boxes and turn around and read. Okay, so all right, so this is the final activity here. So from this picture, okay, put in the chat box one word. What would be your first thought when you see this picture? Give a word. So it can be any word.
Yes. Yes, participant, please feel free to put in a word in the chat box. Any words. Such a beautiful picture. Healthy. Yeah, we have the word coming in. Healthy. Rainbow. Another word.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, that's
rainbow of colors. Diet from
diet.
Chandra Mohan. Diet.
Okay.
High value. Tasty.
Okay.
Nutritious. Colorful.
Colorful, yes.
Yeah.
You know, that's the theme, you know, I gave to this primary 4 group. They were the one who did all this, you know, that I'm going to
Health.
show you. Yes.
Yummy. You're having a lot of words coming in now, Madam Josephine.
All right.
Yeah. Eat clean,
To-
tropical,
so
delicious,
if like
fiber,
they like some more, yes, some more. So in the end,
vegetarian. Yes. You're
we
getting
want them to
the
get engaged in the learning, you know, get
yes.
excited.
Variety, food, vegetarian,
All right, we can come up with so many words, you know.
tropical.
Tropical. Okay, never thought of that. Okay. All right.
Vitamins, summer.
What are some
The
of the
words are
popular
coming
words?
in.
What are some of the popular words?
The
No.
most popular words, I think, hungry.
Hungry.
Yeah, we are thinking of food, fresh, market.
Right.
Yeah, we have colorful again, smoothie. Yeah, colorful coming up more than once.
I can tell that's the popular word. Okay, I guess we have to move on. I'm going to show you some of my students' work here. Okay, so this activity is a showcase. So I had them do some really into the modern media here. So it's called Eat Right. So this is the question. What do you like to eat? And the next thing is to create awareness about healthy eating habit. So they'll be posting posters, videos, recipe, some recommendations, and a little bit of public speaking here. So I'm going to show you this platform that I found out sometime during the MCO. So I had the students actively engage in this project. So this is more of like a display of my students' work, which I'm very proud to show you now. So the platform that I use is called Wakilet. So I'm curious to know, have you ever heard of Wakilet? Wakelet. Have you ever heard of this platform? All right, it's quite new. But I use it to showcase my students' work here. So it's all in one theme, healthy food. So even this poster here was designed by one of my students. All right, we use canva.com. All right. Okay, so these are some of the pictures that they post using their handphones, their smartphones. They post into this Wakilet, and then they type a little bit. All right. Okay. If you have ever heard of Vokaru, all right. So I'm going to play one of my students' speech here.
Hi everyone, my name is Hafiz. I like to eat nasi biryani. I have vegetables, fish, meat, milk, fruits, rice, and eggs in my daily meal. I don't have chocolates and chips in my daily meal.
Thank you. Okay, so this is Hafiz. So I have compile a few here. So if you are interested, I can post the link later for you to view their work. Okay, so I also integrated Google Docs here, where I have my students work out the menu. All right, so this was an collaborative activity. So I had them type in the boxes that boxes that I prepared here. So like Mariam, she'll be like typing what she had for breakfast, and then lunch, and then for dinner, and also the rest. So I also highlighted some of the words that I wanted them to correct here. So it doesn't have to be awkward, but yeah. Okay, so this is an example of the Google Docs that I used for them to do some collaborative work. Some more pictures about the food that they ate. These are all the meals that they post, during the Ramadan month, during the fasting month. So if you are hungry, you'll be more hungry now. All right, so I'm going to show you. So they have like soto, and okay, this one is interesting. All right, so because it's called Plov Uzbekistan, I took the initiative to search up this food on the internet. So it does exist. So I asked my this girl Mariam, if her mom really cooked this. She said yes. Oh, so this is this is interesting actually. So okay, so they post some of the food that they have eaten. All right, and we move on to like how we cook the dish. So we have the recipe. This one I got them to download the recipe from the internet. So I actually don't like how it turned out from here. So but nonetheless, okay. All right, these are how we prepared. We can prepare the food, the recipe, the ingredients, and so on. So we have also this gado-gado. All right, I find this one interesting. They call this burning vegetable soup. So I asked, it's actually is a local dish where you put it's like minestrone soup, something like that, but it's local. Okay, something like this, but yeah. All right, so we have this sweet sour fish stew, which we call ampap. All right, very popular in Sabah. All right, so I'm going to move on. All right, we have the Hainan chicken rice and then some pastry. All right, so we have the video. This one, like Adam. I posted this on YouTube, so I'm going to play the video here.
Good evening, Mr. chips, spinach leaves, garlic, turmeric, coriander, salt, flour, and water. We mix all the ingredients and we have this. First, we heat the oil. First, we take the spinach and put it into the oil. There it is. And now we put cheese on the top of the spinach. Now, delicious.
Okay, so all right. Okay, so this is the video that this boy Adam came up with. All right, so I posted it here, and this is a survey using Google form. All right, and some of the I had my students answer this question: what is eating right? So they answered, and I just like copy paste here. All right, the responses. And this is a slide made by one of my students. She did a presentation which I unfortunately unable to record, but I have a slide. These are produced by 10-year-olds. You know, it's the first time for this girl. All right. Okay, and of course she ended up with physical activity. It's not just like eating. Okay, so physical activity is also important. All right, moving on. Okay, this is the final poster. I ended with another poster by one of the students. All right, also using Canva. Okay. Right. Okay, back to PowerPoint. So that's the end of the activity that I want to show you. So back to this question: the traditional media or the modern media, which I know more than 70% agree that it's both. All right, so yes, when you integrate both traditional media and the modern media, it becomes meaningful because we are applying something real to the students. One thing I believe in is that media provides a very rich learning experience for our students. We can't just simply depend on workbook or textbook. Why not bring the media into the classroom and utilize it according to the topic that we are supposed to teach? So one thing I like about media is that it engages students to learn, not just to learn, but also to communicate, to get that real experience in like collaboration. They have this collaboration going on. They have the engagement is there, and all the skills, all the critical thinking skills are there. So in short, I would say media prepares our students to the real world. So it's actually fun using media in the classroom. Don't you think so? Okay, so okay, how much time do we have, Lim?
About another 15 minutes.
Oh, 15 minutes with the
Yeah.
question and answer.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, okay, I'm open to questions. So if we have any questions, since we have come to the last, almost last slide, I have another one after this. Is there any question from the participants?
Yes, feel free to type in your questions in the chat box.
So while waiting for the participants to come up with some questions, I would like to know from you, Madam Lim, what kind of media do you use to engage your students in the classroom?
For me,
Yeah.
okay, I use
What about yours?
I actually I use both the traditional and the modern media. So some depending on the subject or topic that I'm going to teach. And if I'm using electronic media like what you have been using, I love to use Padlet and Poplets because I find that students can integrate and collaborate using that because they do not have to sit together, especially now we are having this movement control. So my students, they can do their work in groups in the same platform. So for me, Padlets and Poplets they are very good.
Okay.
And then
Maybe.
yes.
Oh, it's okay.
Newspaper is another one that I often use in the classroom because it is very versatile. There's a lot of things you can use with newspaper.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm actually a big fan of newspaper. I have all these newspaper pile up in my office, since 2018, which I wouldn't want to throw away yet, because I want my students to have to know what they can do with the newspaper. Actually, we can do a lot of activities with it.
Yes.
It's so useful. But what you apply in newspaper, you can apply also in books, even in textbook. All right. Yeah. Any questions so far?
I have one here from Miss Pena Young. Is Wicklet user friendly?
It is it is user friendly. When I first used Wakilet, the drawback of it then was because it was so new, and you have to work your way around first. And when you are familiar with it, and it's all the way, it's actually very user friendly.
Okay, we have another question here from Chandra Mohan Richard. How can media or what sort of media can be used effectively to enhance higher order thinking skills among primary school pupils?
Great question. It's how can media
Or any sort of media used effectively to enhance higher order thinking skills among primary school students?
I guess any media can provoke these higher thinking skills. Some of the media that I showed you that I use in the classroom, like this ask a question, it's actually you are already into create for example, like newspapers. So how do you how can we try to evoke these higher order thinking skills using just like newspaper. So one of them is a creation. So we can create something out of
Oh dear. Hello, I think we have some technical problem here. Hello? Okay, I can help to answer on this, on how to use media. Sometimes when my students, I ask them to read a story like the storybook on Snow White. So to enhance their higher thinking skills, I ask them to give questions. So the student will come up questions like, why uh, why is she so afraid of her the queen? Why is she so afraid of the queen? So that is part of higher order thinking skills that we have not thought of before. And then story like Cinderella. Why did she do all the housework? Why she never protest? So those are higher thinking order skills that our students can come up with. And then next question. Do you think traditional media still relevant? As we all know, the new generation more exposed with technology. I think traditional media is still relevant. Don't you think so? Because not all parts, especially over in our state here, not every parts have the students are exposed to the technology. So we still need to use traditional media. Okay.
Hello,
Hi,
Madam Lim.
Praveen. Yes, hi,
Hi. So
Praveen. I
we are coming to
think
the
Madam
end of
Josephine
our.
is having some problem.
No problem. This happens in online sessions.
Yes.
We are coming to the end of our presentation.
Okay.
We'll take a few more questions and then we can call it a day, Madam Lim.
Okay.
All right. There's a
So let
question
me
here
see.
by Mr. Chandra Mohan. Is using questions alone sufficient to enhance HOTS, higher order thinking skills? What other methods would you use? So, Madam Lim, what do you use in the classroom to enhance HOTS besides questioning?
Beside questionings, you make the students talk. For me, I love to make my student talk. So I will ask them questions again here. So I'll give them like if they have like we have the legends on legends. So I will have a few like Mashuri, Putri Gunung Ledang, all the ladies there. Then I'll ask them, which lady do you like the best in the story? So they will pick two, the one they like the best and the one they do not like. So I was quite surprised when my student can, when they go around the class discussing with the other students, trying to influence the friends to their idea of why they like this lady. And they were saying, why is Masuri not clever enough? Because
Mm-hmm.
actually nobody can kill her. None of the knife or sword can kill her. But she tell them to go to the house and get the special sword to kill her. Only that sword can kill her. Then she died. So it makes the student think, don't you think so? Why did
I
she do
agree.
that?
I agree with you, Madam Lim. Madam Lim, Madam Jo is back online, but I just want to
Okay.
before I leave, there's this interesting quote here by Madam Venus Chai. I think traditional media is still very relevant. It is where we can build the foundation and the focus before other platforms. And I
Yes.
think it
True.
perfectly captures what you just said earlier. So I'm going to add Madam Jo online for her to
Yeah.
finish the presentation.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome
So
back,
sorry.
Madam Jo.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll continue with where I where I left. Concerning about higher order thinking skill. Okay. Let me go back to my slide first. Okay. So okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so it's the final slide. Back to this higher order thinking skills. So for example, like newspapers, we can create something out of it. So like what my students did. Hold on, I'm having a problem with the internet here. Okay. Right. Okay, so let me get, so sorry. In like, we do have like creation. We do have analyzing, all right, when we try to like break down a sentence into parts. And then there is evaluation going on during the process. So for example, like to evaluate certain work, okay. All right, so I'm going to skip all these. All right, to go to all right, so okay, so I'm not sure whether I'm answering the question right now because I'm so distracted right now. Okay, so okay, so I'm not sure I'm answering your question, Mr. Chandra, concerning about the higher order thinking skills among primary schools. So we do have all this. So I've in the previous activities that I've shown, there are elements of all these learning thinking skills in each of the activity. So it's actually up to you on how you mold them, how you design them in your classroom for the purpose of your classroom teaching. So I hope that answer your question. So whether it's effective or not, you will see the end result of through your students' work. So I do see some end results from in my students' work, and that's why I'm very proud to show you what they have done. So yeah, there are elements of a little bit of some of the critical thinking skills in them. All right. Okay. So
Madam Joe, I think there's one very interesting question here. Younger children have a hard time staying engaged during online class. Can you give one strategy to keep them hooked using media?
Oh yeah. I introduced them Google Meet, and I had their attention in Google Meet when I didn't start the Google Meet. I had them start the Google Meet. They somehow they got the link, the app to Google Meet, and from there they invite the other friends to join, and I just show them how to share screen and show them what for the next 1 hour or 1 hour or so. It was all theirs, they were like playing around. So I had their attention, in Google Meet on their own with me as a facilitator or just a quiet observer there. And for the whole hour, I was like watching them. They were so excited. So the thing about this modern media is that it's so exciting when it's new, and it's even more exciting when they learn how to use the tools, the apps that's available in this modern media. Yeah. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. So it's more on you trying to come up with something. You can if you know textbook is boring. So what can you and they have nothing else other than textbook at that time. So what activity can you come up with just textbook? I remember even this one simple activity that I did that I normally do in my class, there's a text. I would ask them to find words that begin with the letter A. This works for younger children, among younger children, and also the low performing classes. The weaker students. So they would just look up for words that start with A. So when they have all these few words written down, so you can somehow like move on from that. What's after that. So you have to come up with some activities. So it's possible. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. It's not just like social media. If you don't have social media, if you don't have online classes, what else do you have? What do you have right now? So if you are going online, what do the students have right now? So going back to the showcase just now. So most of the students' work that they post in the Wakilet are the real life objects, real life situation, and it's what they have at that time. Even the video is from a phone that they have. You don't need a very fancy phone to do video. Even a simple a cheap handphone, they can you can do video. If you can't do video, you just snapshot pictures. So that's how I engage the students. It doesn't have to be online classes. So you just give them instructions in a WhatsApp group. In my case, I use WhatsApp. I'm in the middle of transferring them to Telegram. So I just give them the instruction, and it's all the way. So the students engage themselves at their own pace, their own level, with whatever they have at home. You can opt for scrapbook and all this, but I would like them to try something that's very practical. All right, yeah.
Yeah, I think Madam Josephine, we have come to the end of our webinar.
Is it?
Yes. Times
Okay,
do fly, right?
so I would like to conclude my presentation with this one last activity. So I used to end my class with what I call concluding activity. So in the chat box, I was supposed to write on whiteboard here, but since we are short of time, just type in some new ideas or new media or something about today's webinar that you can like show me, tell us that what you get from this webinar. So the question here is to recall and name some media that was used in these activities. Just as a conclusion, just type in the box and we'll call it the day. So in case if there's any question, so I'll be happy to answer them after this session is over. So just don't stop asking questions. I would love to answer you all. Right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That all.